Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna head over to New Orleans, good old New Orleans, for a criminal case. It shows how your criminal justice system lets you down sometimes.
And a history of drug and mental health issues. Police say Darnell Hunter stabbed a man and sliced a woman's throat.
Both survived, and Hunter was arrested, but instead of returning to prison, he got probation. Police say then he killed a man.
Investigative reporter Mike Perlstein finds out how Hunter slipped through the justice system and how that left a family in disbelief.
Hearing that's heartbreaking.
Chucky Fink Jr. would have turned 27 earlier this month. He didn't make that milestone because on April 2nd, he was fatally stabbed while sleeping on a sidewalk on Bourbon Street.
And it broke my heart to no end. I could not believe that. How can you just walk up, stab someone, and then walk down the street like nothing?
This young man was apparently homeless, sleeping on the street. We'll roll on.
Fink was homeless as he battled mental illness, but he remained close to his family, and his mother and two sisters are now struggling to cope with the trauma of his killing.
He was just trying to sleep on the sidewalk.
Say what you want to about the homeless, whatever you feel about, this situation and, how you feel like they're destroying cities. That's a situation that's going on all over the country. But if a man's sleeping on the sidewalk, he shouldn't wake up dead, period.
He wasn't in anybody's way.
Compounding their grief, Fink's family is anguished over a series of decisions that put Fink's accused killer, Darnell Hunter, back on the street despite a long and troubling rap sheet that included two other recent knife attacks.
Look at this
Those
guy.
victims, including a woman whose throat was cut, survived.
Come on.
I mean, you slit a lady's throat. You're lucky she didn't die.
Court records show that Hunter's criminal history began when he was a juvenile and continued as soon as he became an adult.
Like I told you guys before, some people tell you and show you who they are, and that's what they're going to be. This man's track record is longer than this table I'm sitting at, and it's pretty long. So how many warnings do you have to get? How many warnings do you have to get? This is the criminal justice system letting us down again. Somebody has to die because nobody wants to put these fools where they need to be permanently.
He's a registered sex offender with obscenity and indecent behavior convictions.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to serving prison time on those charges, he did 4 years for purse snatching and resisting an officer.
We call that a salad bowl. He got all the
Jefferson
charges.
Parish judge said he regretted that juvenile law prohibited him from locking up Hunter for 20 years. In one chilling line from the court transcript, the judge stated, "This kid scares me."
There you go.
This is an offender with violent sex crimes, domestic abuse, armed robbery, firearms, drug possession.
There you go.
Rafael Goyeneche of the Metropolitan Crime Commission said that while Hunter's criminal history is disturbing, the breaks he got from the criminal justice system are even more alarming.
Now, this is a situation which you guys don't understand. The judge's hands get tied by the laws of the state. They get a little, this varies state to state, but judges have a long reach in some cases and a short reach in others, and they're restrained on what they can do. Even though they could know someone's a menace, they can actually, with 100% certainty, a lot of times know someone's going to kill again. But based on the state's laws and the laws of that jurisdiction, they got to let these clowns out, and nobody's watching them.
The prosecutor doesn't hold these people accountable and doesn't use the law to remove violent and repeat offenders. There are going to be more Darnell Hunter horror stories.
Hunter's crimes escalated over the past 2 years, and so did leniency by the New Orleans District Attorney's Office.
Good Lord of mercy.
Court records show that in
Stay the hell out of
August
New Orleans.
2022, Hunter was homeless when he was booked with attempted armed robbery, assault, and being a felon with a gun. Police say he was carrying crystal meth and a pipe when they arrested him.
I cannot think of a worse combination.
Hunter was facing a minimum of 5 years in prison when the DA's office offered a generous plea bargain, reducing all of the charges to misdemeanors. Judge
This is all money based. They're trying to get these cases done and through the system. These DAs are overwhelmed too. Nobody wants to talk about that. They're overwhelmed with foolishness. The more crime goes up, the more cases they got. They're overwhelmed. And they speed these cases through like a car wash. And you got a monster like this who gets a slap on the wrist and everybody knows what he's about. How did you think this was going to turn out?
Andy Campbell went even further and allowed Hunter to be released on his own recognizance until sentencing.
No,
What?
it makes no sense at all.
Hunter was free for 9 days before police say he struck again. According to this police affidavit, Hunter lashed out on December 28, 2022. The same NOPD detective who arrested Hunter just months earlier stated that he stabbed a man at Poydras and Loyola using the knife to cut a man's cell phone from his pocket.
This dude
Then
like
blocks
knives.
away, officers wrote that Hunter approached a woman and, quote, cut her neck from behind her left ear to the middle of her neck. Janet Hayes, a longtime mental health advocate,
Jesus.
is director of Healing Minds NOLA. She
Healing
says
Minds.
she's never seen a case with so many tragic failures. She says someone battling mental health issues like Hunter should get intensive treatment before any consideration of returning them to the street.
100%.
1 out of 10, greater than 10. I've failed clearly along the way at every step.
Despite the allegations of extreme random violence, Hunter got another break. After
Of
about
course.
10 months in jail awaiting trial, the DA's office offered Hunter another lenient plea bargain. Court records show that prosecutors dropped almost all the charges against him in exchange for a guilty plea to being a felon with a gun.
That is
Jeez.
a case study in poor judgment by the district attorney's office.
But even that plea deal came gift-wrapped. Under state law, the sentence for being a felon with a gun carries a mandatory 5 to 20 years.
See,
For
state law
Hunter,
mandates
Judge
it.
Campbell signed off on a rarely used downward departure, allowing probation as long as Hunter appeared in court for mental health checks.
AKA
In this letter
loophole.
from the Orleans Public Defender's Office, a social worker with the office urged his release, promising to make sure Hunter had transitional housing, took his
Oh,
medication,
stop.
and attended his court hearings.
How can you make a grown man take his medication? I mean, that's the issue right there. You can't make these folks do anything. And if they, a lot of them tell you, I won't take it because I don't like how it makes me feel. But then the next thing you know, there some dude standing on the corner wearing a yellow dress and Timberlands screaming at a stop sign, arguing with a tree because he didn't take his medication. And you can't find them social workers. Good luck calling them on the phone because they don't pick up. They overwork too.
He clearly did not get the help that he needed because he continued to be released and commit more crimes. And every crime became more serious.
By the time the calendar flipped to 2024, Hunter stopped showing up at mental health court. He next surfaced after he was arrested for fatally stabbing Chucky Fink in the neck. He was picked up less than an hour later, a few blocks away. Police say Hunter was carrying 2 switchblade knuckle knives, weapons that combine a switchblade with brass knuckles.
If he had been
Felony in New
handled
York
by
if you
the
caught with
district
that.
attorney's office, he wouldn't have been on the streets to commit the murder. When you have an outcome like this, you begin to foster some resentment between police and prosecutors.
Hayes says this case is a tragedy for everyone, even Darnell Hunter, who now faces a mandatory life sentence if convicted of second-degree murder.
A
If-
system that failed him, the system failed everybody.
Not only did Christy Burke have to tell her 2 daughters about their brother's murder, but also the circumstances that put Hunter back on the street.
They were like, how is this man walking around, Mom? And I said, baby, I don't know.
Mike Perlstein, WWL, Louisiana.
Well, there you have it. Another issue people aren't talking about, or maybe it's being talked about, but I'm not hearing it. I mean, they closed all these mental facilities back in the 70s and 80s where they housed these people because of abuse, which was legit. There was some abuse in those facilities. It was pretty rampant, but this is the end result of just closing them all. This is the knee-jerk reaction in the other way. The knee-jerk reaction so far to the other side, the pendulum is swung. Now these folks are out. And nobody wants to put them away. You're not being protected. They say mental folks, people struggling with mental disability, they have rights, but when they're violent, they need to be secured in secured facilities, not these facilities where they take their shoes hoping they don't run away. A secure facility, the old straitjacket days, they got to bring them back. Or this is going to continue. It's going to continue. Guys, I really appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit the bell, like and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one. Leave something in the chat if you have any comments on this one. Have a blessed day.